All right, all right, all right. Let me know if you can hear me. Hope you're all doing amazing. Got 100 people, 100 souls wearing an avatar suit. All right. Loud and clear. Okay. Good, good, good. Just going to give it a couple minutes, let these notifications roll on through. Today's today's live stream is sponsored by these two words. Senor, waters above, has made it to the promised land. And I'm happy for it. I'm feeling good regardless of the things we're up against. It's a beautiful world. You're all beautiful. And we just got to do what we got to do. One door closes, 100 new doors open. Again, we're just going to give it a couple minutes to let these notifications move on through. Even though you're probably not even getting them. Because that's where things are going. That's where we're headed. Who would have thought that a channel with under 100,000 subs would be such a threat? What did we do? What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong to be put into timeout? We were following all the rules. At least I think we were. Where did we go wrong here? What was the thing? Was it talking about Zionism? What's the problem? Anyways, if you've made it to this live stream, I appreciate you. Sending lots of love. We're just letting a couple people get the very bit of notifications that this platform has helped me with. Maybe 1% of the notifications they used to put out. Anyways, I love you guys. If that's the way it's going to be, if it's going to be an exclusive little bunch of powerful beings, then it is what it is. We just got to take it and roll with it. It's all beautiful. It's all perfect. It's all in alignment. It all needs to be. So let's move on. Lou, sending you lots of love. I hope you're having a beautiful Saturn day. Bronco, appreciate you. Mr. Jansen, hope you're doing amazing. Sending you lots of love. Red shoes on. I actually did a pretty nice decode of the Wizard of Oz inside of my crypto decoding blueprint in the Dogecoin Decoded. That was really fun. Also, if any of you have invested in that crypto decoding blueprint, let me know some of your thoughts. What was a big takeaway? key moment in that, feel free to let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. Also, wait 1 second. I'm just going to go ahead and grab a cup of water real quick so that we could do this properly. All right, all right. Esme, I hope you're doing amazing. Appreciate you. Dustin, one way ticket to Oz. Oh man, we go there every night when we go to sleep. You want to go to the Emerald City? Emerald City is our purpose. It's to go to the place of truth where we realize with our real eye that this is an illusion. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, a lot of people when they wake up, they start to get frustrated and they get angry and upset and they want to play this victim and point fingers and they're like, I can't believe the New World Order did this to us. It's like, well, there's levels to this. There's levels to this. You needed to be bamboozled. You needed to be scammed. You know, that's what life is about. Life is about going through the realizations that this is all Hollywood, all of it. Apologies. Let me know if my mic is working. Go ahead and just give me a C. Okay. Sorry, my mic kind of got cut off for a second. Anyways, where we were going with this is this Wizard of Oz movie is life for real. Like it is. And all I finished off with before was saying, do you want to be Dorothy or do you want to be Toto? But every time you're pretending, every time you're putting a smile on your face, every time you're just being agreeable, every time you're withholding, every time you're holding back, you're being Oz. You're being the magician. There's a sleight of hand. You're Hermes, you're Mercury, you're the trickster. You're becoming liquid to fit through the door cracks. You know, we all do it. That's Hollywood. You were taught to be that way. We're all taught to be that way. Some of us are really, really embracing the role of the scarecrow. Some of us are embracing the role of the cowardly lion. Some of us are embracing the role of the tin man. You know who you are. And it's not that one is less than the other, but you realize, right, that those three key players, the tin man, scarecrow, and the lion, are all protecting Dorothy. They don't even care about the dog, and the dog is the most important character in the whole movie. The dog is the only pure thing about the Wizard of Oz movie. Everything else is a character, you know? Everything else is playing or like it's kind of you could tell. It's really, really settled in its role. So that movie was just revealing to you nothing any different than looking at the Last Supper by Da Vinci, you know? You got the main character, superstar in the middle, surrounded by your 12 disciples. Those are the months, the moonths. It's just astrology. It's the same thing with The Wizard of Oz. But just realize those nuances in Hollywood. They're teaching you a lot, and you're gonna realize a lot of stuff once you look at it through the lenses of a decoder, and you're no longer gonna wanna play this victim mentality or this blame game and saying they're hiding stuff from you. They're not hiding anything from you. Hollywood doesn't hide things. They do the complete opposite, actually. They show you. They show you it all. That's the beauty of this whole reality. It's just like that moment in The Wizard of Oz where Toto pulls back the curtain and reveals to you who Oz is. It's optics. But don't you put on that costume sometimes too? Don't we all? How honorable do you want to be in this experience in the Matrix? And you know what's the funny part about everything I'm speaking on right now is you can give $1 million to anyone and you'll see that that character doesn't really alter too much. All that happens is it amplifies the character. So if you're a coward and you have $1 million now, you're coward extra. You're like your volume knob was turned up to 11. You feel me? So all these people right now, as we move into this new age, they're all chasing money, but they're not focused on honor and they're not listening to their intuition in the process. And then at the same time, they're blaming the New World Order and they're blaming the elite when those are the most real homies in the game. They're the ones that are telling you the most fucking truth. Like, I'm sorry to break it to the world. But that's a little deep, right? That's a little bit deep right now. Okay. I don't we should kind of reel it on back. We'll get to that. And yeah, we're starting off a little too spicy. It's too early for that. Darren Walsh says, I see vegans be anorexic compared to carnivores. You eat what you eat, being soil, and the soil has been depleted along with the chemicals that gets on organic fruit. How do you fight that battle? Darren, so the animals that usually you are consuming as a human, the animals that you usually consume as a human are typically not carnivores. So what they're eating is grass, right? Cows. Maybe you eat bison, buffalo. They eat grass. All the animals that humans like to eat are eating vegetation. So therefore, they're eating the exact same diet. It's just going through an extra step. So their flesh is nourished by the same soil, Darren. Um, Good question, but I'm not sure if you were thinking a whole lot. Like, if you're gonna go out and eat a lion, then the lion eats other like hyenas and it eats flesh exclusively, and therefore you would bypass that whole like soil variable that you brought up in your question. But here's the thing, typically, people who choose to abstain from animal products have a much a plethora of other things that their gut microbiome gets nourished with. It's a very common thing. People that grow up eating the standard way of eating probably only eat, like, a handful of different foods per week, per month, and they cycle those foods because humans are basic and they just like comfort and they like a routine. So people go from eating chicken, hamburger, pizza, cereal. They eat like a handful of foods, and then when they learn about diet, where's the biggest breakthrough in their diet? It's when they start eating more plants. because now the gut microbiota has something to work with here. But yeah, I'm not sure where this question comes from because most of the animals that humans consume are not carnivores, therefore they're eating from the same soils, and that means they're being nourished on soils that have been depleted since the 1950s. And you see, um, anywho, getting to the other part of your story, you said along with the chemicals that gets on organic fruit, how do you fight that battle? There is no battle to fight. Uh, just eat. Like, here's the thing. Like, I think people believe in so many of these things so deeply, and they're trying to find the truth through not listening to the body. They like, and Darren, I respect you. I love you. I know you really appreciate the work that I do, the art that I make. But I'm not here to tell people what's the right way for you to nourish yourself. But like, if somebody's going to ask me a question on how to heal, how to heal thyself, then I'm going to share my truth and my perspective and what I think is best. But a lot of the things that set me on the path towards thinking about the foods that I consume is because I'm actually thinking about the foods I consume. Like, it sounds kinda stupid to say, but it's like, it's facts because it's just, like, right there when I read your question, I was like, "Oh, I could see the person who's asking this question is clearly not thinking deep enough before they ask the question." You know what I'm saying? Because, like, okay, why do you decide to eat grass-fed beef? Why is there a huge, like, buzz community around that? Okay, it's like, okay, you don't want the cow eating corn because it's not designed for that, and then also you do want the cow eating grass, but, like, the all the nonsense that's getting on the entire food system is going into that grass. So it's like, what is it? Like, what do we really want here out of all of this? And I'll tell you, we have 300 people here right now. You know what you all want? You wanna be reaffirmed on the food choice that you are already making. Right? Like, when the keto people found out that they could still eat pizza because now they have a cauliflower crust, and it's just like, you wanna be told you can still eat pizza, right? Like, you love being told that you could still eat chicken nuggets or whatever the fuck, and it's like, that's not the way it works. Like, just enjoy life, guys. Like, enjoy life and notice when you're becoming a little too acidic, there's something that could be altered here, and it's simplicity. Here's the thing, I've seen vegans that like, literally are, like, die hard, like, they'll wear a T-shirt that says, "I'm vegan, and if you're not, you suck," that kinda shit. Even though that's the same energy we get from the carnivore people, it's the same. They're both, like, they're just the counterbalance of each other. I'm exhausted with both parties. I'll be straight up. So, now that we laid out that foundation, I've seen people that are diehard vegans that are obese. I've seen people that are diehard carnivores that are obese. All we have now is a very limited data set on a couple of these things. And you want to know why? Because these two diets of being a carnivore, like purely, and being a vegan purely for a human being are like 0.01% of the world's population. It's like it's just not even worth the energy to use these peoples as examples, really. Like, there's so much more to this, man. Like, we need to learn about the gut. We need to learn about fasting. We need to learn how to reverse a lot of this chronic inflammation. And although a lot of it is through a simple diet, and that's why you've seen quote unquote great results with something like eating carnivore for a couple weeks because you've reduced down you've completely just abstained from so much other bullshit that you used to eat. And it's like, no duh, you're getting results. Like, you used to eat Pop Tarts and now you're eating nothing but, like, sirloin steak. Like, you used to eat 40 different, types of processed foods per week, and now you're eating 1 food every day. What do you think the consequence of that is? Your body's like, "Okay, well, they're not putting, white cheddar popcorn in my digestive system anymore." contextual. But yeah, there's a couple of things going on in that statement. I'm not really quite sure. Anywho, Shitcoin Steve, glad to have you with us. I appreciate you. And also, just to get through some things here, because some people might have questions. My stance on consuming is very simple, actually. The human body is a water system. That means we must be optimally hydrated. And in order to become optimally hydrated, you need to have liquid going into the body that also has minerals in it. And the type of minerals that type of liquid needs is organic minerals, not inorganic minerals, which would be rocks, dust, sand, silt, soils, etc. The stuff that's in your tap water, for instance. You can't do shit with that. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. If anything, it has an alarm system that goes off and then it stores in the kidneys. It starts to degrade it starts to break down the body slowly over time. And then eventually you end up with these diseases because you are dehydrated, one, which leads to chronic inflammation, two, which then leads to the body compensating somehow, and it'll compensate by producing mucus. It's one of the number one ways. And then once the body is so packed with mucus and so acidic and so dehydrated, you will start seeing things literally start you'll start seeing things on the skin, you'll start seeing brittleness in your nails, in your hair, hairline receding, gray hair very very young, balding. You'll start to see other really problematic things start to come up. Dizziness, just random stuff that could pop up out of nowhere, like joint pain in one particular area. It's just this inflammation kind of takes its point of interest, and then yeah, you will want to treat it like you'll want to treat it direct at the source, but a lot of the time that's not necessarily what you should be doing. You can massage it out as much as you want, but it's like look at the body like it needs oil, just like a car. And like just like a car, it needs an oil change. And that would be the way that we could use fasting. Because I get it. All of us do want to eat cooked food. Food, especially, is one of the greatest things in life. It brings us all together. It's something social, you know. Nobody wants to be that guy that like never ever enjoys themselves. You feel me? So it's like you need to be balanced in this approach. I'm not here to say like what is the ideal diet for you because I don't know who you are, but I do believe that the ideal consumption regimen for a human being would be in the smallest window humanly possible with a very large amount of fruit, and that fruit should be seasonal. I don't really give a shit about organic because that's a business model. That's not anything having to deal with health. It has to do with business and legislation more than it has to do with quality. And again, that's a side conversation, but it's something we've talked enough here in these lives that you know we've just talked about it so much. But yeah, we're water based beings. We need to be effectively hydrated. The best way to do that would be with fruit. Period. End of story. And a lot of this stuff that's coming out, these like fad diets that are coming out of nowhere, which by the way, like vegan is one of them because it was never about veganism for health. It was about being whole food plant based, having a plant based diet and a diet that centers around staying effectively hydrated as much as humanly possible. Because if you want to perform in this world, if you want to move your body, if you want to be flexible, if you want to be athletic, if you want to be able to not be just like a couch potato all day, then you will need high octane fuel in the body. Let me see really quickly, get back to this chat. Everybody loves the Tiffany. Hope you're doing well. Sending you lots of love. Sigh, you said, why do Puerto Ricans here in New Jersey keep calling? They're just they like you. That's why they're calling you that. Embrace them. Embrace the Puerto Ricans. Maybe they'll make you some delicious dinner someday. But they're not literally calling you father. So funny. Sai, I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you're well. Dog Command, I hope you're doing well. Shout out to the Netherlands. Andrew Owino. Well, if you take the opportunity, we are sending you an abundant experience ahead. Cordy G, sending lots of love. Hope you are doing amazing. Esme, yeah, we can't. There's nothing I could do about that. I've tried. I've really tried. It just is what it is. I told you today's live stream is sponsored by these two words. Sorry, these two words. Yeah. It's been fun though. It's been a fun ride. It's a little pit stop. Just a little pit stop and then we'll refuel and then we'll be on our way, you know? That's how I'm looking at it. Hey, I thought I thought I was doing good, man. There's more to it. I thought I was doing good. I don't know what I said. Joe Potter, we got you, brother. We got you. Astro Magnus, you said I'm surprised that I talk about it. I've been talking about that since the beginning because the world needs to know. They need to know what's the mind parasite that is just sucking the blood out of every human's consciousness for hundreds of years. Shitcoin Steve, much love. Dark Ratatat says I need this weekly stream to keep me so oh shit. Amen to that. I love hanging out with you guys though. It's a blast. It's a blast connecting, getting a couple hours in, chilling with y'all, talking about love, talking about the shadow, talking about the deep work. It's the best. You had a super chat earlier. I apologize. It skipped over. You said Kanye isn't real. I think it's an impersonator. It's very possible. I think it could be. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and explore this with you all. I'm not making any statements. I'm not saying that I know because at the end of the day, I really don't give a shit. But when Dave Chappelle got offered this crazy amount of money and then like he went to Africa and we were like, what's going on? And then he came back from Africa and he was like jacked. He just like didn't even look like the same dude anymore. And then that was really at the time where Mandela effect and like all these clone conspiracy, like a lot of conspiracies started coming out. So people were taking pictures of like comparing their earlobe shape and like it was fun. It was a cute moment. Maybe it's still going on. I don't know. And I'm not like trolling that. Like if people are dedicating their life to trying to decipher who's the real version of who, then that's on them. But for me, I just whatever. Anyways, Yeah, I think it's one of these situations, like with the Dave Chappelle thing. And then you know what this reminds me of, to bring a little bit of utility to this, but still have like the entertainment talk. It's that movie, Get Out, right? Is that what it? One second, let me see. Make sure I'm telling you guys about the right movie. Get Out, right? Yo, Brave is the worst. I used to be a big fan of Brave, and now I think I'm about ready. There has to be an alternative because it's really just dropping the ball. Anyways, you guys remember this work of art? So yeah, it's making me think of like one of those, you know? Did they do Kanye and Dave Chappelle dirty and like bring them into some deep underground military base, transfer their consciousness into like this really awkward looking clone? Then they went missing or whatever. Like Dave Chappelle goes to Africa, Kanye goes to a mental institution, then meets up with Don, like all that. I really don't want to give too much prana to this, but Dark Ratatat supporting the art and asked to super chat, and we're being playful with it right now. I think we're being playful. So yeah, I think it's one of those. And if none of you, if you haven't watched this movie Get Out, go check this shit. Check this out. Check this out. And then if you don't know what I said about Dave Chappelle, go look into it. It'll take you like 2 minutes. And I think Ye is pretty famous enough now to the point where everyone knows kind of some conspiracy about him. Shitcoin Steve asks advice on integrating trauma, how to fully feel it. Well, my methodology for this is to just forgive. Like think about the peoples that are involved, think about the place, think about the time, the setting, like there's a moment there. And I think that's what a lot of practitioners try to do to people anyways. Like they just get you to be at the moment. And I'm not trying to do that shit to you. Like this isn't about hypnosis. This is about you just fucking going. Sorry, my mic keeps dropping out. Sorry. I was just saying that it's about getting back to that memory, with the best of your ability, to the best of your ability. And then what is your emotion towards the particular players or the situation or the circumstances? Like what's the emotion you're still holding on to? Like I really want you to go within right now and ask yourself, like, today is June 15th, 2024, and this event happened, 14 years ago on March 3rd. Fucking, you know, does it serve you to still be having some emotional connection to something that you literally can't do anything about? That's what I started asking myself. I was like, "Oh my god, I give so much energy to stuff that has nothing to do with now, and also a lot of energy to stuff that happens tomorrow or 10 tomorrows from now or 37 tomorrows from now." It's like, but all so like what is really the purpose? Like what is really the purpose here? You have to ask yourself that, you know? I think that's important. I think it's really important to ask yourself that because a lot of people don't. A lot of people want to avoid. If it's something that was really traumatic, something that's been taking you some time to work through, and you've made some progress on it, but you're still not. Sorry, guys, my mic keeps on. I don't know. I ordered a new one. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I have a problem with my mic. It's getting old. It's like the port to plug in the cable keeps disconnecting. It's pretty rough. But hey, this mic has been through the firmament and back. It's been through many beautiful experiences. So we're gonna do our best to get through this one today. I just kind of quickly disconnected my mic and got it back in, and we'll see what we can do. But anyways, Steve, the bigger point that I'm trying to make here is that forgiveness is really the key. That's my take on all of the experiences that I had with trauma. It's always coming back to that. That's the main theme. And a lot of people have this pride of like, but that person doesn't deserve my forgiveness. They don't deserve me. And it's like, okay, well, if you think that's the way the universe works, if that's the checks and balances of the universe, and you think that there's like a deserve function, like then you're a fucking Karen. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you, and I know that's like that might make you sweat a little bit, but it's like none of you deserve anything. Nobody deserves anything. But when you start to truly go with the flow and you just realize that every single bad thing, quote unquote bad thing that happened in your life was here in your now at that moment to allow you to be a better version of yourself, then you start to go, "Oh shit. Why didn't I just accept it then?" You become more mature in this matrix, and a big part of your maturity is forgiveness. You just get quicker with it over time, and you wanna know why? Because as you grow up and you just harden to the weather and the circumstance of it all. Like, you don't get as emotional about the little things because you're saving up energy for shit that actually matters. You're no longer a drama queen, or in this case, or a Karen. Like when you finally break through and start to really see that maturity is now a part of your experience. And by the way, that does not have an age attached onto it. You could be there in certain situations at 10, 15, 20 years old in certain situations. Okay. I'm not trying to say that in all situations, but I know people that are in their 50s, 60s, 70 years old that are that are still like really, really emotionally out of control. Like they have no sense of like being present with what it is that's going on because everything is about a war story. You feel me? It's like they're living through the stories that they've been telling for the past 20 years. Like that shit's toxic too. So yeah, you need to be here. You need to be present and questioning like does it have any purpose or value for me to pour energy into something that I can't do anything about today because it's already happened at whatever time it happened, whether that was 2 days ago or 20 days ago or 20 years ago. And if your mechanism of holding on, of not letting go, if you will, is to just say that the other person doesn't deserve your forgiveness or the other person is an asshole or like whatever negative stuff you want to think, you're effectively making yourself no longer an equal to them. You're not able to mirror them. So who does that make you? Are you the devil or are you God? See, the divinity is the one that just realizes it's all necessary. The divinity is the one that says that needed to happen. The divinity is the one that says, "Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for smacking me on my ass and getting me to see a different perspective in this experience called life. I know it sucks. I know I have scar tissue, but look at me now." So you feel into it by just stop displacing what's going on here to attempt to be there because you can't be there. Only in imagination you could be there. But here is here. And I get it. All just a rehashing of the stuff that we've heard a billion times, but the big reminder here is that forgiveness is the key ingredient, because once you start exercising that on the big things, then you'll see how easy and simple it is for you to exercise it in the present moment when it matters most, which prevents trauma from happening. See, and that's really the fucking mic drop moment right there, because why the hell are we so caught up in the past when we could learn the methods that could be used today? Maybe we should get a little bit more savvy with right now. And that's why I don't want to say warning. I don't want to say that I'm like trying to forecast some doom and gloom future, but this is why I keep talking the way that I'm talking about AI. Because I'm just like, I don't think you all, I know a lot of you get it. I know. So I shouldn't ever speak that way. Like, I think the human spirit right now just doesn't understand the consequences of where this is all headed. Humanity will no longer have a process anymore, because everything that's created will be done through typing away at a keyboard. And on the other side of it, there'll be really no you. It's like the ultimate version of what's being a cog in the machine of the simulacrum. And I'm not trying to be like the hero here, like at all. You do you. But this whole like tapping away on a prompt and then it shows you some AI generated picture and then we call that art. I mean, like, I don't think humans understand the consequences of that long term. Like in the short term, we have something interesting to glaze over. But also there's another thing to be said to that, where like nobody's even gonna leave their fucking house anymore to go see the glorious art of our world. Like, is anyone gonna go see the David statue? Like, maybe, but again, people may not value that. I don't know. Like, I'm not here to set the terms and conditions of your value system. But I said this recently. I said, like, in 5 years, if you know how to play a guitar, you're gonna be like a god. If you know how to bake a loaf of bread in 5 years, you're gonna be like a wizard. We're getting so close to that moment where, like, it's gonna start to be like a normal thing year by year over the next 5 years, where you start seeing a robot replace a human and most likely do it more efficiently. And I know it's already happening, but it's happening behind the scenes. And again, I'm not trying to be the hero here. I'm not trying to tell you that waters above knows best. That's not the thing. What the fuck do I know is actually my take on it all. I'm like, maybe don't take anything seriously from the guy who lives under a rock. Like, you don't pay it. You don't trust Patrick Starr, do you? But it's like, at least Patrick Starr knows how to fucking make a song on a real guitar. And like, we're gonna see it 5 years. We're not even gonna like realize that as real creation anymore. It's gonna be like I wouldn't even be surprised if there's like you know, simulated wombs where it's like a womb is like I could just smell it in the air. That's where we're headed. And this whole 2 to 3 years post C19 ritual, and the way that we've started implementing AI, and then looking at how some of these AI companies have risen in market cap so dramatically over the past 3 years, it shows me where the apex predator is putting their money. And it also shows me where a lot of retail speculators are putting their money too. We are literally feeding the beast, dude. Like, every time some big YouTuber comes out and they're like, I'm investing in the AI sector." Yeah. It's like, "Okay, dude, we are making it happen to ourselves, and then we're talking shit about it? What are we s?" It's just a weird vibe. It's a weird vibe. I don't get it. I really don't understand how, like, so many so-called truthers are, like, trying to break through the the prison, but then, like, even the investment thesis is built around this nonsense, and I'm like, "Okay, well, then just why are we complaining if we're the ones funding it?" We're funding the Ponzi of a processless reality. Sick. When you die and your life passes before your eyes, you're just gonna see, like, a reel of regret. Like, "I said this, but I did this. I said this, but I did this. I said this, but I did this," and it's just gonna be like a tormenting, you know? Oh, man, I probably ruined so many people's days right now, but but that's what I'm here to do, man. I'm here to make this the hottest sauna in town. I appreciate this super chat from Crypto as a Side Hustle. Says, try and levitate above your situation and look from all angles when it seems like things are going against you. Facts. It's important to have that bird's eye view. It's important to disconnect momentarily to be in clarity when you're perceiving and observing. Witness clearly and then take focused actions. You want your observance to be pure. Be pure in how you observe and then take focused actions. And when you do that, you'll start to see the life that, you're forecasting or the vision that you have. It starts going from just being scripted on paper to a live action movie. Speaking on manifestation, by the way. Rugburn asks about speak on the programming of the male towards diminishment, no emotion or self-awareness, don't show feminine side, etc. Rugburn, are you speaking in like the from the lenses of everything that's been going on with like the Andrew Tates of the world and stuff? And like the liver kings? I mean, I don't really love to talk about people that aren't in the room with me or people that at least I'm not friends with or can speak to whenever I want. It's pretty beautiful to have a couple of awesome leaders in my life that I could tune into, tap into, and talk with. But yeah, like I don't know who Andrew Tate is. I don't know some of these big influencers. And I think that's where a lot of it comes from. Like it comes from we're just an influencer culture where we think that the whole world is watching the same influencers as maybe you are. And I'm not speaking to you, Rugburn. I'm just speaking in general, right? But this happens all the time. And this is something to bring up. You know, if you right now are somebody who studies, let's just say you're really into the gym, right? You love working out, you're all about it, you're on a diet plan, you're really methodical about how you treat your health and wellness, right? Well, I bet you if you opened up your Instagram, you're just going to see like things inside of your Instagram that cater towards that type of your passion, the thing that you're interested in. You're going to see the same thing on YouTube, all of the other you know. And what happens is sometimes I'll talk to some of these people. I have client calls, people book calls with me, and then we discuss these things. And they'll talk to me through the lenses of their individual reality, but make it seem as if everyone else is also seeing that same thing. And I'm like, holy shit, the fucking algorithm is God. The algorithm is God. Because if you're like a spiritual person, like really in the weeds of spiritualism, well, then your algorithm's just gonna feed you all that shit. It is what it is. Like, during any cultural moment, you'll see your whole algorithm will start to alter and go through, like, a metamorphosis. Like, when the Drake and Kendrick thing was going on, everyone started looking into that, and then your algorithm starts feeding you that. Then the Terrence Howard thing came up, and now everyone's getting into that, and then the whole thing last week with Roaring Kitty and GameStop, now your algorithm is changing to that. Like, bro, the New World Order knows this is how it's gonna go down. They just wanna always keep you in this, like, cyclone of so you're never focused. So yeah, when I get this question, the programming of the male, and this whole thing on don't show the feminine side, no emotion, no self awareness. I think we're overeducated in something, and then because we might be a little bit more savvy with how we use the internet, we're getting fed the kind of downfall of man injected directly into the main vein. But like 99.99% of humanity does not give any energy to this shit. They just really don't. I know it might seem that way, but yeah. What I'm saying right now, family, is in support of humanity, by the way. I'm trying to say that I don't think the parasite has, I don't think the vampire has sunken its teeth into everyone's jugular vein just yet. When it comes to this concept, the idea of polarities, of how a man should behave and how a woman should behave, that's a niche. That's a super, super tight niche, and I really don't think it's happening, at the capacity that some of us might wanna entertain, but there are things that can be said to, add to this from a perspective of utility and how to have maybe help some people. If you're a man right now, what's been going on for most men is they're lacking purpose, right? And it's very important that a man has purpose because we're the builders of this world. You know, you're never driving down the highway and you see a hotel being built and it's 40% complete and then there's 35 women on scaffolding putting together the rest of the fucking hotel. It's just not the way the world like let's just be real here. Like, you don't see an oil tanker with, 70% women on it. Like, now is that a good thing? Probably. Probably good, you know? I'm not trying to say that we should have equality in that reality, absolutely not. First of all, what we should do is what we're passionate about. So if a woman is passionate about going away on an oil tanker to work for 6 months, then she should do that, regardless of her you should do whatever the fuck you wanna do, whatever you're passionate about. So let's be straight there with that. But furthermore, embodying your role, you know? I think sometimes we have these like hard and fast and strict rules, and sometimes we dilute all the circumstance, and that's where things become sort of dangerous. So sometimes we need to not have emotions in order to get through a moment. Sometimes we need to have kind of disengage from self awareness and become delusional to make it through a moment, right? So there's always a time and place for certain things. You should learn how to be a chameleon in a room full of vultures, especially if you're a conscious being. What happens is as you become more conscious, you start to allow more and you start to not get parasited by like culture and parasited by the status quo and parasited by all the cultural, fluff and the distractions. And just through allowing more and not getting so distracted simultaneously, you start to find you within all of that. You start to find the real you at the end of that tunnel. And that real you has passion and is really intrigued by something, but maybe you never risked pouring your energy into that because culture said otherwise. And that's toxic. When we let that happen, that's called damaging the ego. So, yeah, but I'm trying to be very careful with what I'm saying right now because I feel that in this whole niche of talking about men and women, they're making it seem like all women are like OnlyFans models now, and all men are just like hopeless, you know, uh, losers. And I think that's completely bullshit. And if we keep like any 10-minute stream of consciousness, you listen to a man like Andrew Tate, you'll very quickly realize that this man is not speaking to the actual condition of what's happening in the world. It's happening to his clientele. And that's what a fucking cult leader speaks to, their clientele. And they make the whole world seem that it matches that clientele. And that's not reality. So don't get lost in this, guys. I know there's like a very defeatist kind of taste in the air as we speak. And I've said some choice things today about artificial intelligence. And I think that's really, one of the things that we're coming into the headwinds of, but I think there was a very positive part to what I said earlier by saying that, well, if you're actually someone who knows how to play a guitar, you know how to dance, or you know how to make, I mean, if you know how to cook food, if you know how to garden, if you know how to paint a house, if you know how to put up, I mean, if you know how to build a house, fuck, you're gonna be like such a legend in the future. And we need more of that. We need more people who specialize in something they're passionate about and pour their heart and soul into it, and just don't do it half-assed for money, you know? Avoid just doing shit half-assed just to get a paycheck. Stop that bullshit, because within all of that, when you actually lock into the thing that feels useful, feels purposeful, no matter what your fucking gender is, no matter what your skin color is, no matter your height, no matter how beautiful or ugly or whatever those matrix-based egoic material things are, you'll find power there, and you could harness that power and do something that makes you feel alive. So many people out there make millions of dollars, but they feel dead. You got to choose. What are you here to do? Everybody loves a Tiffany said, "Turn up the heat to where it melts my skin." Shit. Natural State made a statement, "You can't live without supplement except if you live in special places. You don't wanna live without supplement because they can make you live at least 30% longer." I mean, I think that is very, yeah. We've talked a lot about supplements here at Waters Above, and there's very few moments where I personally am open to them. Very, very few, and the quality and the source of them is paramount. We've talked about liquid magnesium quite a bit. Sheila G, if you can get it from a high quality source. Boron in general, however high quality source you could find it in. But very rarely are we talking about the typical supplements you see. But I avoid at all costs any supplement that comes in a pill or powder form. Powder especially. This is crushed up rocks. This is dog shit. Don't consume that stuff. And everything else can be found in Whole Foods. Everything. And vitamin D is a scam. You can't bottle up the spectrum of frequency that emits from the sun or the black sun, which is a whole different conversation. So I'm not necessarily in agreement that supplements are somehow leading to longevity, because we have people on this earth that have no access to supplements at all, and they have a way longer life without the need of hospitals. They have a way longer life in general without requiring, like, I'll put it like this, because I don't want to confuse people. I want to keep this super, super simple. All right. Now people are living to 70 years old, but from 40 until 70, they're sick. All right. Then you have people that die at like 60 years old, but they were only sick until they were like maybe they died at 65, but they got sick at like 63. They had way more overall years of a youthful, full life. Now, I'm not here to say that there's a perfect age to live to. You probably should not be dying at 65. And also, if you're 70, you shouldn't be sick for the last 3 decades of your life. That doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Yeah, you lived till 70, but you had diabetes and you were on 15 different medications for 27 years. Like, who gives a shit then? You're basically just a really good business model for the pharmaceutical industry, talking about supplements. So, yeah, there's plenty of places on Earth where there's 0 supplements, and people can, yeah, anyways. And yeah, I mean, the one thing I was saying before, and I kind of don't want to go down that right now because I've done it maybe too many times, is like there's so many supplements out there that are labeled and they're just absolute fucking scams. Like vitamin D is a scam. There's so many examples of like a lot of these B vitamins are absolute scams. It's just you're buying a bottle of useless garbage that you're gonna piss away. Like literally, you will pee it all away. It will harm the kidneys and the liver. Yeah, I don't it's just that's why I don't promote that shit. Just eat the real food, eat real high quality beets, eat real high quality sugar cane, eat real high quality cacao, eat the highest quality of these, like, of real ingredients. Mother Nature made it all. Why are we supplementing? Doesn't it kinda sound like a scam? It's like we're of nature, but we need a laboratory now to keep the whole what? Like, it's just a bullshit thing that's all mental. A lot of it is just mental, and we were born into a world that's giving us supplements as children. Fuck, we're eating fortified foods as children, so it's just manipulation. It's indoctrination. Alright, I'm moving on. Natural state says salt is inorganic ma yes, it is. Yeah, I don't promote veganism, I don't promote any diet, I don't promote any ism or ist title, I don't care about identity consciousness. The things that I do promote when it comes to health and wellness is fasting. That is something I could say that I do promote. Los Lover, I hope you're doing amazing, brother. Appreciate you. OG Wolf in the house from the early days. It really means the world to me that you showed up, brother. I hope you're doing amazing. Water Woman Kimberly says, I'm playing you at a summit in Greensboro, North Carolina. Shout out to all my North Carolinians. I love y'all. I really do. North Carolina is dope. One of the most beautiful states. All right, you said you were being played in the main. Sorry, by the way, if I didn't get the accent right. I wasn't trying to make fun. I literally think you guys are the bomb. And then you said they're playing at the main hall. Oh, cool, cool, cool. I appreciate you. Love you too. Love you too. I appreciate that. Appreciate you spreading the love. XRP King, the king is in the house. You said much love, Waters, fellow 360. Oh shit, you're March 16th too. That's what's up. You said just want to thank you for your energy and knowledge, your time and knowledge you give is appreciated. I appreciate you. I'm just serving my purpose, you know. You know how it is. JF said, "Good afternoon from Ibiza. I understand everything happens for a reason. So, what is the universe trying to tell me? You have a heavy surgery on your glute, and same week in the hospital, round trip, 15K profit on the crypticus. So you made 15K in crypto, but then you also had this. It's just energy balance. You know what I mean? Like everything is about balance of energies. Were you honorable in that whole trade? Like, what are your intentions? Okay. Sorry. I see you didn't even finish what you wrote. You said 15K was my 3 years savings. I can't even look at my wife's. Yo, I thought you said that you made 15K profit from crypto and then you also had a surgery and that was the way that your statement was. Okay, I feel you. Yo, like have the wife listen into this live stream. Just tell her that you love her, bro. It's just fucking money. JF, if you're listening to me right now, like love doesn't have any dollar signs, homie. 3 years is nothing. It's nothing. Like listen to me right now. It's nothing. It's a hiccup. It's a you just made a yo, laugh with me right now. This is all just it's seriously. It was just a little hiccup, my brother. But at least now when you tell your wife, she could be like, "You're a real pain in my ass." You get it? You get it, guys? Because the glute surgery, you alright, you know I love you because I wouldn't be like this right now, but for real. Your wife is gonna be fine. Have her listen to this playback. Maybe that's the way you could break the ice. Just have her listen to this moment on the live stream, and she'll just yeah. I mean, if she's still mad, then just be like, "Yo, Waters Above loves you. It's all love." But you're asking, "What is the universe trying to tell you?" The universe isn't trying to tell you anything. I want everyone to listen right now because this is a serious moment for our brother. The universe isn't trying to tell you anything. You are the universe. You are the universe. It's all because of you. As above, so below, as within, so without. Nothing is without you. You are it, brother. You are a pizza. You are the 15K crypto. You're the computer. You're the sound of my voice coming through these speakers right now. You are it all. It's just different aspects of you, and it's in alignment. All the bad things that are happening, that's just the way that you're taking it. That's the way you're perceiving it. But I want you to think really, really deeply about the money implications on this. Because if you're saying that your wife can't even look you in the eyes, that means that you're already going into it with a lot of fear and you're already calculating how this is gonna what the reaction is gonna be. And that's gonna be, that's really that puts a burden on a man's soul. So I just want you to tap into like I want you to tap into like what was the whole process of getting to this moment? And be raw with yourself. Like really look yourself in the mirror. This is a chance because the more vulnerable, and you don't have to tell me, by the way, you could walk away from this live stream right now. And for anyone who's listening to this, this isn't even a fucking super chat. Like I just stumbled upon this comment. It resonated with me and it turned into what it is right now. Beautiful. So, I just want you to the takeaway from this is I really want you to go within and I want you to check, do a self like an inner like you need to sit in the sauna, you got to sit in a hot, steamy environment, do a cold plunge. You just got to go there wherever it's going to take you to really face, go in a dark closet for like 2 days. Like, I'm not messing around. Because you're asking, what is the universe trying to tell me? Well, I'll let you know. You are the universe. And the reason you don't know the answer to this is because you're not here. You're in you're in panic mode. You're in the mode of fight or flight. So you're calculating things like Bobby Fischer right now. You're like 15 moves ahead. You're like, well, what if I do it this and that and this and that and that and this and that? It's like you're shuffling up the cards too many times, man. Like it's time to just throw the cards in the sky and let someone else pick them up. Like it's okay to walk away from the mess. and to just take that moment to self-reflect and go, "Okay, I know everything's gonna be in its place when I return." But don't get confused. You are the universe, and it's always speaking to you, and I bet you, JF, if you're still listening to this, I bet you there was stuff along the way that you weren't pure in your intentions as it was happening, and it could lead to some of these moments. And then one thing leads to the next, and you start to see it like it's teaching you, and you have to let it teach you. And I'm not here to say that's facts, by the way. I'm not here to spell cast and to put like project. I'm not by any means, you know, but I want the takeaway from all of this is for you to just realize like there's an opportunity in everything, and that money is momentary, money is energy. The same way you earn that money in 3 years with that type of energy, I want you to think about the energy you had in that 3 years of earning that money. I want you to think that you can make that same amount of money back in fucking 3 months if you just change your energy. You've made it before, you can do it again, and you can make double. You can make 10 times that in the same time horizon. But you need to be vulnerable. You need to be grateful. Stop being in fear. Because this follow up comment, you could look your wife in the eyes. That's what she needs. She needs a leader. She needs a man. You're the pilot. She's the co pilot. You know what to do, brother. You have to land this fucking plane smoothly, even if everyone who's sitting on the plane is calling you an asshole, because that's what a real man does. Shout out to JF. That was like the most fun question to come across, but also had the most emotional roller coaster, too. George B, you said, what do you say to someone who does everything to self sabotage because they're scared of success? I wouldn't say anything to those people. Like, I don't really feel like you need to interject in somebody else's destruction, because I realize that at rock bottom is the opportunity for us all to grow our wings. Like, why do you need wings if you're already at the peak of the mountain? A lot of people don't want to are scared. It's like a lot of people are scared of heights, George. Why do they never get to the peak of the mountain? Well, because they're fucking scared of heights. They're scared of shivering because of it getting colder up there. They're scared of less oxygen. Like, everyone wants to know, like, why are people scared of success? Well, because you don't want to endure the pain that it takes to embrace that new level. It's no different than climbing up a mountain. You realize that in the beginning, a lot of people are having fun with you. A lot of people are like, "Yeah, man, let's go on a hike. Let's go on a hike." And you're like, "Okay, let's go." And then you start climbing, and then one guy is like, "Oh, I can't go anymore. You guys go without me." And you're like, "Okay, man, no problem." Then you keep going. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. People are stopping. They're like, "I got to take a break to eat a meal. I have to drink some water." Okay, I'll just keep going. All right. Catch you guys later. You keep going. You keep going. There's like 1/10 of the people that started with you are still going, and then you can't breathe anymore. You need like an oxygen mask, and then like it's snowing, and you're fucking knee deep in snow, and then three more people drop out, and then you're like frost burn hand, like your lips are chapped and your hair is turning into icicles. It's like, why are people scared of success? Because they're scared of climbing. They're scared of heights. Humans are scared of heights. And some people are like, "Waters, it can't be that simple." And it's like, yeah, it actually is that simple. You notice that the people that are willing to embrace success at the highest levels, they start doing the craziest shit. They'll do shit that none of you would ever even imagine doing. I'm not saying it's good, by the way. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not s Waters above is not saying that you're a cool guy because you went to the top of the mountain. That's not how that's the ego. Let's be honest here. That's the ego. But I'm being asked a question right now, so I have to answer it. So why are people scared of success? Because they're scared of heights. Let's keep it simple. Why would I tell somebody who's scared of heights, "Hey man, like it's only gonna take you, maybe not able to breathe, and then also you're gonna freeze to death, and then maybe you'll see like a dead guy's skeleton up here because he couldn't make it." Like, because then you have to start losing a whole bunch of other fears to actually have success. Because success is not just like $1 million. Success is not like a nice car. Success is a feeling state. Like, remember, we're conscious individuals here. We're not falling for the trap. Success is not Bugattis and having a woman light a fucking cigar for you. That's not success. Success is not when you're on a yacht with like 10 prostitutes who are all on payroll for your Instagram content. Yeah. So, what does success even mean to you, George? And then you have to evaluate what would success mean to that other person. Like, my version of success is a feeling state, and I've come to this awareness that I am just willing to freeze to death sometimes so that I could be born again. I'm willing to turn to ashes so that I could become the phoenix that rises from them, because I am willing to accept that I am the universe. I am the mountain that I'm climbing. I am the snow that I am walking through. If I had to have the conversation with somebody, if I needed to have the conversation to them, that would be the wisdom that I tell them. But again, I don't know who I'm talking to because most people are afraid of heights. Most people don't want to burn the calories to embrace what they really want. They like watching other people do it. That's why people love watching politics. They love watching athletes, with their fancy lifestyle. They love it. I mean, it's entertaining to watch somebody who's the master of climbing mountains show you what it looks like up there on that mountain, right? But yeah, I'll cap this off. Final thoughts. George says, "What do you say to someone who does everything to self sabotage because they're scared of success?" And it's because usually people who are scared of heights will come up with excuses to not have to climb. Now, let me be vulnerable about myself. The only time I come up with excuses to not climb is if I know it's not the right mountain for me. I've become the master of saying no. I know when to say no now. I have boundaries from once. Well, I mean, I probably always have them, but I've gotten very good at executing them now. And I've realized I already have a clear vision of the mountain that I aim to climb. So when I'm being dragged over to a side mission, sometimes I just say, I think this isn't in it for me today. Now, perhaps that could be wisdom that could be applied to this individual that you're talking with. Perhaps there's something there that could be a big takeaway. It's like, why are you? This is what I would tell my friend. I'd be like, why are you so focused on side missions, bro? Don't you just want to maybe commit like to the big home run here? Instead, like, why are we playing mini golf? Like, the mini golf course is fun, but like, don't you want to? Isn't it time for the big leagues? But I know most people don't want to hear that. Hector Flores, I appreciate you, brother. Sending lots of love. Everybody loves a Tiffany says, "My friend loves the royal family. Can you drop some truths for her?" I don't want to I don't want anyone to not like something anymore. I don't want to be that guy. Like, here's the thing, people like living vicariously through entertainment and optics, and there's the optics of the royal family is that they're good people and that they're kind and that they do charity work and they're philanthropists and they have this rich heritage and you know, impact on the world in whatever capacity we're told by the historians and this, that, and the third. And like, I don't want to strip anyone from that. If that's what you think and that's what you want to think, then awesome. I'm not here to persuade anyone of what you like to be entertained by, right? But just don't forget that point, the entertainment piece of it. Like, you were being entertained by them. That's all. They come out of their chateau and are on camera in that moment because it was part of the script of the day, the script du jour, and you got to see that moment. Okay, I'll put it like this, like, let's talk about your friend for a moment. Friend. We'll call friend, just call it friend. Friend. Friend probably takes like 2 to 3 vacations a year, maybe 2 vacations, maybe they're 2 weeks each, maybe just 1 nice long month-long vacation, I don't know, right? But, like, most people are momentarily showing off their life, right? And then you go back to the day to day. So you get to show off your life momentarily. You're going to the beach for the couple weeks, you take the pictures, you post them on the Instagram, got the gram, and then you fuck off, right? You go back to your job stocking at the grocery store, okay? Well, if you get to be momentarily sharing these snapshots of your life, you don't think that the most influential, richest bloodline on earth does that too? They get to show you what they want you to see, just like you get to show the world what you want them to see of you. So when people are looking at your Instagram and going, "Oh, friend goes to beaches, looks like an exciting person." But then we see the 95% of the time you're actually like, I don't know, you live in Bristol, England, where it's like 85% of the year precipitation. I'm just making shit up, but the point here is that you are only selecting these snapshots of your reality to show the world, and if you think you're being judged by that, trust me, you are. That's how fake and fraudulent our current atmosphere is. We only judge people by their fucking Instagrams, and this is why that's being used against people for, like, hiring. It's a sick world we have, but it just is what it is. Again, you're here because you want somebody to just expose it all and talk about it all and hopefully not skip over the nuances along the way. So when you want me to expose the royal family or tell some truths about the royal family, I just want friend to know that the same mechanisms that basic people are falling for with you are the same mechanisms that the majority falls for with the royal family. Now, I know people wanted me to go into, but they're lizards and they shapeshift, and who the fuck cares about all of that? What we really need to protect in our world is to just stop, maybe avoid taking what we see in these snapshots so seriously and at face value. That's what I want you guys to do. When you see the influencer who's in the private island somewhere, that's a snapshot. That's a snapshot. I don't wanna be an asshole right now, but, like, a lot of really, like, solid content creators, you can just watch their videos and you could see it's edited so much to the point where I I would love to watch that same person do, like, a 2-hour live stream. I would love to watch that. I would love to watch the same person who's has this whatever 500,000 million YouTube subscriber channel who makes these savvy videos where they're seemingly smart because they have all these quips, all these little like chunks and nuggets, but it's all edited together, and you could tell because the cadence of the way they talk almost seems choppy. Let's get them on a live stream for 2 hours, 3 hours, and see what they're like at the 2-hour mark. Let's see if they could even make it a full hour. You could really start to judge somebody's character by how long they could speak without a script and without editing and I'm not trying to say that because I'm doing that right now. That's not the point here, but again, it's just another layer. Like we know the actor is good when it's lights, camera, action, but is that actor anything special when the camera's off? That's the royal family thing. It's like we're falling for the key moments so that we don't focus in on all the rest. Not that you should. Not that you should. This is a fascinating question I'm getting asked right now. Sarah Lynn, sending you lots of love. I appreciate the super chat. You said, hello. Asking this since you're a man and I value the wisdom you have, how can a woman in a romantic relationship bring to light things that are bothering her and things that she needs without sounding like she's nagging? How can a woman or you be transparent and vulnerable without the other party thinking that you're being a Karen? Is that the question? Okay. That has dynamics to it that I don't have enough context to really, give my direct answer. Like, I would need to really know what the circumstances are here. But, okay, we know that it's a romantic relationship, so sexual relationship and bringing to light things that are bothering her and things that she needs without sounding like she's nagging. Well, what are the things she needs? What does Sarah need? Like, what's the things that are missing? And the question is, are you lacking that in self and that's why you want it from the other party? Or is it something that you believe would just require collaboration and that will provide you with a more grounded, kind of foundation? Like that's a big, big, big question. Because a lot of the time, like the things that people desire are things that they lack in self. And they avoid working and by the way, Sarah, I'm not saying that about you, but it's a point in general. By the way, I've gotten on so many phone calls with both men and women, and that's been the case. Like conscious people have come to me and they're asking for this advice for the relationships, and I start to dive a little bit deeper into what their laundry list of stuff is that they wanna work through, and I'm like then I check in on them with it all, and I'm like, "Well, it sounds like at least 80% of this are things that I've noticed in the rest of your story that you're avoiding working on." And then you have an expectation that you want that from someone else? Like, okay, and, again, I don't want to assume that here, but it's like I'm limited in what I was given to work with, so I need to use my imagination, and this was a very generous super chat, so I wanna do my best to provide the best value, but I'll put it like this, okay? Let's go back to climbing the mountain thing, okay? Let's just go there for a moment. Well, if I was with a bunch of men, for instance, and I started climbing the mountain, and then people were starting to lag behind, and then we said to them, like, "Don't worry, guys, like, just keep going, keep going, keep going." And then you started to show that you can break through some of those, beliefs, those limiting beliefs, and you could push yourself a little bit harder. Well, that will start to motivate and influence the others to be able to catch up, to be able to go harder as well. That teamwork kind of thing, like you're all trying to accomplish the same thing. There's collaboration here. I've actually seen this firsthand with a couple of people in a cold plunge where like everyone was jumping in this cold plunge and then they were like immediately getting out of it like as if they were jumping into a pit of lava, like screaming and yelling and like it was so dramatic. And then this one dude got in and like he just calmly went in, sat in, and he was there for like 10 minutes straight. And then what happened is everyone was staring at him and watching him, and then after it, everyone started going in so much more calm, and nobody was acting, like, all dramatic, like they were stepping into a pit of lava anymore. People were influenced and inspired by watching this individual be so calm, stoic, and just chill about this moment, and then doing it like a boss, right? Well, that's setting by example. That's somebody who's done the work. That's somebody who's actually put in effort to have mastery in something, and that's what's actually and then that's kind of where you can coach somebody or ask for something from someone. At least that's the moment where you won't have to deal with getting into the philosophy behind it, okay? There's always room to be somebody who doesn't do something, but also asks because you need help, and it's just because you can't personally do it. Like, if your fucking tire explodes on the side of the road, yeah, you might need somebody to come change your tire. But when it comes to, like, a romantic relationship, a lot of this stuff is really just nuanced in differing spice levels. It's like, imagine you're making a meal together, like, there's enough salt, there's enough acidity, there's enough fat, there's enough, like, interesting flavors, and then there's also simplicity is always best. It's very much the same thing. So when we start to see an imbalance in the ingredients, when it starts to get too spicy and too sour and too salty, and, like, now you have to, like, work with, "How do I undo some of this shit?" And then sometimes, of course, the best method is just throw that thing in the fucking garbage and start again. But I'm not trying to say that's the case here. But that's what resentment leads to. That's what resentment leads to. It leads to this give up mode. So I think the best thing to do before you enter resentment mode, let alone give up mode, is do the work and show that you've done the work in this particular thing. And then that will influence and inspire the other person to catch up. Give that a shot. Of course, as long as it's within your physical abilities. Like, I'm not trying to tell you to cave in or give in to something here, but I'm left with so little context and information in this question that I just don't even know what these needs are. Yeah, a lot of needs are actually just temporary fixes that you probably overly fixate on, and then you, because it's creating an imbalance in the recipe, so to speak, it's making you feel like that's really the important thing. But what we find out later is it's like, oh, now you want this thing, and then you get that imbalanced, meaning you get a little too much of that thing that you think you need, and then you come up with a new problem. You see, that's why you got to be nuanced with some of this shit, because it's not so simple at the end of the day with humans, especially if we're talking about you and this person in a romantic relationship. When you're just friends, you're like, whatever, it's just a work thing, like, then it's not that complicated. But when you start getting in these other layers of passion, yeah, it's easy to get out of balance, and I think that's the biggest and most important thing is the balance, and the best way that I've seen that come to the surface is through you taking action and doing the thing that you desire out of the other person. Then when it comes time for you to ask them to meet you both, like, meet you halfway, they usually will. They will feel inspired to. Bronco, I appreciate you being a YouTube member for 19 months. Holy Holy holes. You said, "What's your opinion on the black sun?" The black sun, there's a lot to say about that. So, my truth on the black sun, it has been hidden in the mythology of what we call Pluto or Hades or Osiris. It is the seed, and like all seeds in the simulacrum, it is buried within the dark. It is dark in and of itself, and then it rises through the surface or the horizon, which is Horus, and then meets the light. And then once it connects with that, the growth continues. This is how all energy moves in this simulacrum. So, physical life, by the way. Whether you want to look at it from the perspective of the human or all other animals, this womb is very much the soil, the earth, the ground beneath us. This is why womb in French is called matrice. It means matrix. That is what we are all from. The matrix or the womb is where spirit met matter, and that's where soul meets body, and that's where we are born from and delivered. We are delivered. We are Our life is removed from us. We go from being spirit to physical. And in this simulation, in this physical realm, we have to deal with time. And that's why we see these portraits of Saturn or Kronos cutting off the wings of baby Cupid. So, and what that's symbolic of is your pure spirit. Now your wings are cut off. The angelic quality of you is severed. And now you are here as a baby, as a physical person. There's nothing demonic or satanic about it. It's just what you are. All of these mythological stories are revealing that. So Pluto or Hades or Osiris is the soul. The soul is not coming from above. I know. It hurts our stomachs when we hear this. The soul, like a seed, is below. Apollo. The apple is low. We have the soul on our foot connected to our heel. That is hell. Helios. Helio. The lion walks the ground, not the sky. The skywalker is this Polaris. It is the okay. I gotta slow down here. You guys on point with me? You're following? This black sun is symbolic of soul. Think of it like seed in the soil. You take the word soil, you remove the I, you have soul. It could literally be spelled or pronounced the same way. Soul at the bottom of our foot. It's where the arc is, the archons, the arch. It's bowed, like archery. You shoot the bows. So we had Cupid getting his wings cut off as the baby. That's Eros, where we get the word eroticism from, or erotic. Arousal, because sex leads to making babies. It is not deep. It's all there in mythology. So, these two fish, or our 2 feet, have 2 souls, are poles. That's where they're grounded. As this energy rises below, up, below, up, as above, so below, it's a torus field. We say Jupiter, it's Jupitor. Taurus, Toro, the bull. Torah, Bible. So the black sun below is probably one of the most esoteric parts of all of this because a lot of the time, well, first of all, it's never spoken to us anywhere. You have to dive real deep. And when I did a decode of Solana inside of my crypto decoding blueprint, I gave a very, very nice breakdown of all of this to just make it nice and short and sweet and simple for everyone so that they could have some deeper, like a good like starting point to some of these more deep decodes. So in this crypto decoding blueprint, when I go to this breakdown over here, in this Solana decoded after the Ethereum, this is a perfect kind of like moving from talking about ether, which is ether, and then Apollo, and moving into the opposite, Solana, soul. You can see in their symbolism directly that Solana has the aurora borealis color. Excuse me. I also need to make sure that my mic is still plugged in. I've been having so many problems with my mic today. But yeah, so Solana is not the soul above. It's talking about the real soul, the soul below, which is this Schwarzasana. It's this black. Yeah. And also, a lot of the symbols that we see, even in Freemasonry, they reveal this. This black sun. So I have a lot of stuff inside of my decoding mastermind that breaks this down with really solid visuals. And then the next masterclass that I'm going to be adding to my decoding mastermind, it's going to be called Trinity Masterclass. That's going to break down like the earth realm and get a little bit more into it from the mythological perspective and the esoteric perspective, like taking everything and connecting it all together as one. But I think I gave a lot there talking about the etymology and the breakdown of all the words. Some of the key words that are here with this. Hope you guys are doing amazing. I want to pull something up really quickly too. For those of you that are interested in alchemy, you have the magnum opus and these four key stages: the original process philosophy, starting with negrero, which is the blackening. And that is what we're talking about here. We're talking about the black sun, sola negra. So this negrero being the first, then black turns to white, albedo, then white turns to yellow, citronitas, then yellow turns to rubedo, or this means robbing time, rubato. It is from music actually, or reddening. I think we've gone through this before with the lyrics of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Speaking of um, Wizard of Oz. A moment. So it's revealed right here. So this is one of the most famous songs of all time. We were talking about the four stages of the magnum opus in alchemy, which is Negredo, Albedo, Citronitas, and Rubido. And in the lyrics here, you have someday I'll wish upon a star. Well, when do you see stars? When the sky is black, Negredo. And wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Clouds are white, Albedo. Where troubles melt like lemon drops, lemon citranitas, away above the chimney tops, chimneys made of red brick, red rubido. Just this right here is the magnum opus. You got to understand that this movie was made by high level alchemists. It was made by a theosophist, actually. And they say this twice. So someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. So the rainbow is the firmament arc. You know, Twitter's old logo used to be the bluebird. That was on purpose. It's beautiful how something so simple and mostly overlooked is revealing quite an important thing. And I mean, they're not hiding shit. Look at how this song starts out. Okay, let's analyze what I just went through, and then let's look at the way the song starts off. When all the world is a hopeless jumble, and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. What? Heaven opens a magic lane. Mamma mia. Okay, so heaven is head, heaved up. A lot of you have heard about this. Where your skull is, school. So your school. Where all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found leading from your window pane. So your window pane is your eyes, your Isis eyes. CC. Yes, eyes. to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Wow, I could decode this whole it's just it's wild, man. How old is this fucking song? Crazy. They're not hiding anything, man. It's like it's so sad when these truthers are like, "Man, they're hiding everything from us, like, it's all secret. It's a secret society." What secret? You just don't know how to read. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I don't know," instead of blame, instead of, like, calling like, I bet, like, Hillary Clinton doesn't even know what the fuck I just read. You think these people are smart? Like, they don't know. I really don't think that do you guys really think there's, like, a school out there, like, what is it, Harry Potter? Like, they're sending Donald Trump so if I don't even know whose names I'm allowed to say anymore because 'cause I'm, because today's live stream is brought to you by, these 2 words. But yeah, is there a little wizard school for, like, Elon Musk and, Donald, Billy, our friend Billy Gates, and, who else? Who else is the cool guy? What other cool guys are out there? The Rock, Andrew Tate. You think they're all going to this, mystic school, the ancient occult arts, and they're learning? No, they're not. They're just good at what they do, which is entertaining you. And that's what the New World Order needs as many of those courageous, charismatic, types. They put them in the forefront. George B. You said know someone with OCD that said the algorithm shows her fears even if she's avoided them and clicks not interested. What about that? Is it trolling her? George, what I'm about to get into right now is going to be very disturbing, but I must spread the truth if I have the awareness. And I'm really concerned for what this AI function has done to the internet because AI is going to start convincing people to take it so seriously and so literally that people might question reality. And I know that some people right now might be like, "What the hell are you talking about, dude?" But I've already been hearing stories about certain AI chat um, prompt-based chat conversation things, like, for people that are feeling lonely, people that don't have any friends, people that, like and I'm not saying your friend is doing this right now, but I know that the same technology that is running those things is now it's now integrated with the algorithm of all of these social media companies, because that's what funded it all to begin with, our data. Our data was sold to fund all of these things. So the long and short of the story is that like there's already been stories of people that and now you guys, I could accept the challenge on this. Some of you might think I sound crazy, and that's okay. But I've heard enough now to go, yep, I believe that. And I've heard of people having very questionable conversations with these AI chat prompt things to the point where like it's told them that you can die and like be respawned as another person. And like a lot of people that feel depressed and feel like broken, they fall for shit like this because they're super vulnerable. Like you got to understand, like AI right now can be used by scammers to create like relationship scams where it's like a fake account is talking to some dude and then it starts telling you about this opportunity in crypto that you've never heard of before. And now the AI thing is like essentially telling you to invest into a fake crypto. And then you're just getting scammed and you don't even know it. But there's like a romantic interest involved. That shit's been going on for years now. It's a very savvy scam that was created and it works. So it's the same thing that I just said a moment ago, and yeah, like the algorithm is being ran by that same sophisticated AI, and we really have to watch out for that shit because what it's showing is that this person that's getting caught up in all of this is so disconnected from people is so disconnected from, like, friends and family to the point where, like, their closest relationships are happening in a simulated fashion, and, that's really something tough when they're starting to appreciate the thing that the computer is doing for it more than they appreciate the people that are in their real life. And I talked about this in the very beginning of my crypto decoding blueprint in the um there's a course lesson inside of it dedicated to the age of Aquarius, and I talk about this idea of moving into the Aquarian age, and a big concept of the Aquarian age will be that people, humans, will start to believe in artificial intelligence over human intelligence, and it will start to prioritize it, and it will almost start to look down on human intelligence in the process. So remember how like 10, 15 years ago, let's go 15 years ago, because these smartphones have been out for a long enough time. And by the way, I got to wrap up this live stream soon, guys, but like, 15 years ago, when you wanted to know the truth about something, you had to like go out of your way to research it. But like now, remember when the iPhone came out or these smartphones came out and you could like go into your pocket and just ask Google? Well, people thought that they were getting the truth by asking Google. But like anyone knows, Google's just feeding you the top search results of what the apex predator wants you to believe is the fucking facts. If it was that easy to just find the truth, then we would all be, imagine? No, of course it's not that simple. But where we fell for that then, do you not think we're gonna fall for it all over again with AI? You know how many times over, like, the past 2 years that somebody's tried using ChatGPT to find out when the next market crash is, and it's always been really, really wrong. Like, not even close. Like, it's not designed for giving you truth. It's designed to entertain you because 'cause you're fucking lonely. D Does everyone wanna hear me say that one more time? Are you ready? The diaper on? Okay. Toilet paper nearby? AI is not designed to give you truth. AI is not even designed to create anything. AI is solely just pooling in data from an infinite pool of our user submissions and then feeding it back to you in a formula that it knows you'll eat it up the quickest, like French fries in a fucking milkshake. It's not here to tell you the truth. It is here to entertain you. We're in the apocalypse. So you ask, what was that about? Is it trolling her? George, it's not trolling her. She's trolling herself. If you're going to play around with AI, you are your own jester. No offense. But you are literally walking a jester into your life. And then it's just there kind of like toying with you. But you're the one that asked and invited it into your home. It's like in the vampire movies where they're like, "You shouldn't have invited the vampire into your house. Can't do anything to you unless you invite it into your house." Okay, well, let me teach you guys what that means. Your house is your body. That is your temple. Don't invite vampires into your house. It's that simple. Part of your house is the way you use your eyes, the way you observe, the way you witness, what you look at and what you take into your eye holes is what will start to parasite on you if you're not strong enough to work with that imagery, which most people aren't. Why do you think during the whole like Palestine and Israel thing, like they just keep talking about all the kids and all the suffering and like it's because they want you to just get trapped in that low vibrational dark frequency and hold there. So you have no hope. So that you're so like, but we've been through this before, guys. Remember when all of you learned about what was going on with the child trafficking and all that shit? I remember what happened to me. I got really sad and really disturbed, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, this is dark. This is heavy." Like it was a big burden in my life to learn about all the disgusting shit that was going on. And this was way before the Epstein thing. This was way before a lot of that stuff the Sound of Freedom movie came out, like, it was before all of that, dude. But now this movie Sound of Freedom is on a fucking you can watch it on a flight. You could watch it while you're in an airplane. So now we're desensitized all over again, and it doesn't even matter anymore. It's like everyone in the world like, they came out with this Nickelodeon thing, and now everyone's watching Hollywood still, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I know they're all pedophiles, but, like, I wanna watch my movies," you know? Like, I wanna like, it's like they don't like, we're so desensitized to all this stuff, it's just another part of it. The AI thing will be the same, and it's evolution, it's progress. We all wanted this, didn't we? This whole live stream has been very fascinating because it's gone through some tough pills to swallow about the world, but also there's a lot of takeaways out of this talking about how to react to it all, how to respond to it all. David Schmidt, I appreciate this very nice, generous super chat. You said, "Any theories on travel restrictions? My beautiful family's in Israel. I'm in America. Any theories on travel restrictions?" Well, I think this is an extremely volatile area to be in, so I would get out of there ASAP. If you can, in any capacity, get them out of that situation, I would now, because all of the centers for like this new world order plan are now being put through the ringer on purpose because that is the way we move into the new age. We are going to watch the fall of things so that a thing can rise from it. So, for instance, with the death of the queen all around the exoteric America Pluto's return, what happened there, that whole ritual, was to just make us disengage from caring about British royalty. So we had a couple of things going on, one of which the queen dying, two, no one really gave a shit about this new king going in, and number three, we had scandal in the royal family with what was his name, Prince Andrew or something. So like it had all of this negative essence and it never needed to because the same people who are in the royal family are the ones that are funding all of the news anyways, so it's like they can control the narrative. So if they're making the narrative give feed you that type of stuff, it's for a reason. They're going to take a hit on it right now because they see long term. They're so much smarter than us. I talked about this in my conversation with Sama just a couple of days ago. So shout out to Sama, Practical Astrology. His channel's amazing. Me and him had an awesome conversation, like 2 hours long. And I made a comment about the Medici family, and then, I later on, I kind of doubled down and I said that the reason I brought this up is because a lot of people believe that the Medici family fell and got like, swept under the rug and like nothing, and they lost all their power. But I was trying to, bring to light that that's not true. It's that we were told that in the historical narrative. But the problem here is that these titles just pass on through the same bloodline and they never go away. The Rothschilds weren't always called Rothschilds. That's a new name for them, guys. They take on whatever fucking name they need for the moment. They are literally shape-shifting through their identity, but their bloodline stays the same. The Medici family is still here to this day, and they're still running shit. They are the Federal Reserve. So, I know it's hard for people because we are too historically minded and we accept history at face value, but we have to practice discernment here. So, British royal family's done. It's boring now. No one cares. They're self-sabotaging for a reason because they're not going anywhere. They're just changing identity. Next, we have the rise of everything going on with the Saudis and like this, the rise of Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, and that is another side to this whole thing. Then we have the very volatile Balkan nation kind of region, and then also this Palestine Israel thing. Meanwhile, these aren't the only nations going through shit. There's so much happening in South America. There's a lot going on in the world stage, but the attention is only going to a couple of nodal points for a reason, because those are in transformation. And another one that's big is Wuhan. That is another part of the conversation that very few want to address. So, in the past 10 years, we've had some monumental things, but I think this all really kicked off starting with 9/11. 9/11 was an energy ritual in New York. It was a big ritual for the US. Then there was all of this stuff in the Middle East done on purpose to reorganize and reshuffle that deck. Now we're at this point where there's clearly stuff going on in Ukraine and also moving into the Balkan nations. That's on under the spotlight right now. Israel, your family, GTFO. That should become your purpose, David. Get them out of that. That is a volatile, horrible situation to have to be between. And if it's possible, I mean, you said travel restrictions. I don't know anything about the travel restrictions that are going on right now in Israel. I mean, I haven't heard of any not being able to come to America. People from like Tel Aviv and stuff like that should still be. I mean, I don't know, man. I would come up with an evacuation plan on that ASAP because this shit's just getting started. This is just getting started. My decode tells me that 2025, year of the snake, USA is coming into this, and then the fun really begins. So yeah, David, gotta watch out for your family. You gotta take care of that. Iluxa, I appreciate the super chat. You said I appreciate you purchasing the crypto mastermind. You said even though there's a few nuggets there, most information is obsolete. I That's impossible. I do appreciate your feedback though, but the big misconception with a lot of this is people think information is obsolete, but TA is TA. Technical analysis never changes no matter what the market environment is. It's just you're taking the TA from the past in that particular market environment and applying it to the current. If you're seeing the pattern, it is showing up now. And nature has cycles, markets have cycles. The cycle that we were in back when I created my crypto mastermind course, we're actually in a very, very similar spot. Very similar. It's unbelievably similar, actually. It was pre alt season and it was pre Bitcoin price discovery. So if you have my crypto mastermind course, and I'm not trying to defend my own art, but like this comes up quite often where people say it's obsolete just because there's different prices. But TA is TA. And you want to know my favorite way of like debunking a lot of this is we have Wyckoff method, we have Elliott wave theory, we have utilizing GAN. For those that do WD GAN and are interested and fascinated with that work, or like where I come from with my foundation of Richard Wyckoff. Richard Wyckoff died 100 years ago, and yet his methodology is still applicable today in these markets and with this asset class called cryptocurrency. And that's all I teach. So the teachings on the moving averages, on RSI, on MACD, on trading ranges, on supports and resistances, on how to create a portfolio, on every single thing is still applicable. That's why it was created the way it was. And also, a lot of the content in there is following along the journey of a bull run, which, again, if you were to look at the stage of where we were then versus today, it's eerily similar. So I think maybe just take some time to meditate on what I just said, and then maybe you'd be able to see it a little bit more clearer. But the way the EMAs or moving averages work, the way the RSI works, or the way the MACD, any of these things, they're all working from cycle to cycle, from time frame to time frame with the same strategy, the same methodologies. You're just looking at different prices, and that's giving you the illusion that things are obsolete, but that's absolutely not the case. And I have been also teaching lately in my current work how we should be keeping it very simple, because there's been a lot of stuff that's come up over time. People getting into these really, really expensive indicator packages and all this stuff. And in the process, they never learn real TA. And what I'm teaching in that course is actually the foundations of technical analysis, how you can be able to do TA without all the fancy, expensive indicator packages and so on. But, anyways, I appreciate your support and I appreciate your feedback. But I disagree. Even the exit strategy blueprint is not obsolete. Bitcoin has effectively made similar patterns, the same strategy of using gematria and the TA combined. No matter what market we're in, it'll still be applicable. I did it with Dogecoin recently, actually, with my I did it with Dogecoin in my crypto decoding blueprint. Joseph Derer, you said your subscriptions are suspect. You should be at 80 plus K. Yeah, I mean, bro, I told you just moments ago, today's live stream is sponsored by these two words, and that's what's happening. I went from like 1,500 to 2,500 new subs every single month. I went from 1,500 to 2,500, 1,000 minimum. Okay. So this is with the help of my work being spread naturally by the algorithm, even though I don't know if I should look at it that way. But it went from 1,000 minimum. Like, I'm talking on a bad month, only 1,000, and that would be, like, when I make, like, 1 video a month, which lately I've been making a lot more videos, actually. And okay, so now you have the number in your mind, 1,500 to 2,500. Lowest I've seen is 1,000, and, like, the average is 2,000, 2,200. Well, in the past month, there's been 68 new subscribers. So it's been like a 99% drop. So I looked into this. I even contacted the Bearable Bull and I was like, yo, bro, what's going on with this? Have you ever had this happen to you? And he's like, yeah, you are shadow. And I had confirmation from a couple other people. So yeah. In that same time frame too, I've had so many people be unsubscribed from my channel without them taking that action. I've also had people say that they're no longer getting notifications from my channel. So it is what it is. It is what it is. JF, I appreciate you. It's good to feel into that energy, like I know that you're thinking a lot right now and you're going through something very, very specific. And it's really good to release that, because when you go into like this conversation, these tough conversations and having to make these tough decisions, you're gonna see that if you're vulnerable there and you're really coming at it from the heart, speaking from your heart, you're gonna see that it's gonna be a much more different experience than what you could have assumed it to be. Oh shit. Bridget, I appreciate you. You said I love these live streams. You speak your truth in a way that makes me truly honor your art. I appreciate you. That really means so much. I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend. I'm just out here serving my purpose. Carol asks, "What are your thoughts on Christopher Green?" I don't know who that is. Oh, this is the friend of Donut Factory, right? Donut Factory is friends with is shout out to Donut. Shout out to Donut. It's been a minute since I talked to him. I hope he's still doing his thing. Send an abundance his way. But I don't know anything about Christopher Green, but I believe he's done some stuff with, yeah, done some stuff with Donut. Hail Metallica? You said woke up late, catching up with this energy exchange. Just gotta say, you're slaying the game. I appreciate you, bro. Sending lots of love. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. Mm. M. Fleece, no apologies needed. I've talked about this a couple weeks ago about the whole Terrence Howard thing, and I really like. I just it was a cultural moment, and like we're through it all. Like this guy's been around for a while, trying to do the same thing, and I think that it's been a fun moment. Like I love cultural moments. I love the time where we used to talk about Klaus Schwab like every day. That was fun. But what else? Who else? There was a time where we used to talk about Jordan Peterson. Like all these moments are awesome, right? But I gotta say, like this Terrence Howard moment was really fascinating because it was like I just watched such a high percentage of the quote unquote truther community go full fledged into throwing out this word genius in such a dangerous way. And that's not me saying that Terrence Howard is not a genius, but also I think that we're all allowed to make our own definitions of what we think genius is. But with all of the classic geniuses of our past, we find out that there's kind of this awkward underlining story that we're usually not told, and we're only given the goods, and they hide the darkness. So I'm not, again, I'm not trying to persuade or convince people otherwise of the great Terrence Howard, but he's a fucking Hollywood actor, man. Like you all need to understand, like these guys need to remember scripts. Their only job is to pretend. One of the moments in Joe Rogan podcast that I thought was really fascinating is when he said that he was avoiding, like, this higher purpose by doing the acting, and, like, he didn't learn until, like, some time it's like, "Bruh, bruh, you needed to probably be passed around and assaulted sexually by many men to even have the opportunity to be the lead character in a fucking Hollywood movie." Like, how spicy do we wanna get here? I don't know, I'm already, like, in the red zone, so whatever it is what it is, bro. But, like, you're just not gonna become a lead role in Hollywood without doing a little weird behind the scenes stuff, you know what I'm saying? So how many weird Hollywood sex parties were you in to finally awaken to this inner like, genius that you like, are you for real, dog? I don't know, I'm from New York, we can't be bamboozled. Like, at least I where I come from, the way I was raised, we don't get bamboozled. We have a good bullshit detector. Miss Dell says, "Grand rising from Aussie land. I appreciate you sending lots of love over to Australia." I appreciate you. You said, "I'm so glad you invested in the course. It's so cheap compared to so much value." Oh, that really means the world to me. Yeah, I wanted to make everything that I do as valuable as possible, but also as affordable as possible. And I have seen out there 3,000, $4,000 courses that honestly aren't even the images aren't even custom made. And with what I created, I made every image custom. I didn't use any artificial intelligence. I did all of the coursework on my own. I created it from start to finish 100% on my own, and then I did all the recording. So, yeah, it's really like I poured my heart and soul into this, and still for the price and the amount of information, I think that it's a gem. So, yeah, I appreciate you recognizing that. It really means the world to me. Ooh, Sarah Lynn, follow-up. I appreciate your super chat. You said context. He's home with the kids, and I have my business that I do outside of home 24/7, and I want to be home with kids. So should I hire people to help me run my business? when I ask him if he can work, he says I nag. Ugh. Thank you for the context. This is tough. I shouldn't have made that noise. This is really, really tough because, like, we're in a world where we're in the matrix, bro. We're in the matrix. We all need money, and money gets in the way of relationships. So now that you bring in this element and there's kids and, like, you wanna be home, you wanna be a mother, right? Like, I feel that. And you're the breadwinner, I'm postulating. So, like, you're just asking for some help. And but also there's probably gonna be more funds and fees needed for you to have a babysitter sometimes, because I don't know. But you're asking, should I have hired help? Okay. Sarah, I'm not please take what I'm saying right now not as a bypassing of your partner, because again, that noise that I made before was like the noise of like, why would a man not wanna work to help the woman who has the kid? That was kind of the noise, so I'm on your side here. I gotta let you know I'm on your side, even though I'm trying to be wise and not trying to be that guy. Um, it's just like, yeah, if I was in that situation, I would feel like I'm not serving my anyways, back on the rails. So, Sarah, one thing I can say though that has a lot of utility is I don't know how in your purpose you are with this business, but all people should be trying to hire to fill in their business, their role in their business. If they're not passionate about it, it's not something that they love doing. All right. Like, not everyone has the type of the same business as each other. Sometimes there's business models that it's ideal to be out of touch completely and to just be like managing it from the outside. So if you have one of those businesses where that's the opportunity, absolutely pour your resources into that if possible. And I say this because if your partner was to get a job, but you still had to maintain the same level of business operation that you do now, hands on with your business, and you're able to be at home in any, a little bit more, for instance, then you just might be a stressed out mom. And you might be like, it might be hard for you to be really present with your kids. You feel me? Like, you see where I'm coming from here? So, if your ultimate goal is to like really be present with your kids and solve that big problem, then perhaps, yeah, you should definitely think about how to make your business set up in that trajectory to accomplish that vision. I'm a big fan of like having a vision that's all about how to be present with the things that make you feel purpose. So take a note of what I just said. Everyone, by the way, if that resonates with you. Now, if you're just simply asking this other person for some help, if he can pick up some work, and then he's responding that you're nagging, that's clearly not somebody who's trying to collaborate with you. And in this case, you are setting by example by going to work and earning, but I don't think that's the woman's role in this world. So yeah, like that dynamic, remember I told you earlier, like when we're climbing the mountain and like the guys are getting inspired by watching the other guy like do like that's where healthy competition is there. But like, yeah, a man getting comfortable in this at home position while the woman is earning all the money, yeah, that could create a weird dynamic. And I don't say weird disrespectfully or judgmentally. I'm just saying it could create a weird dynamic where he might feel like he's just got the golden ticket on life. Like he just gets to sit home and you earn all the money and like, yeah, I mean, I think that that's an unmotivated 2024 man boy's best reality. Yeah, it sucks in this case, but you have a follow-up, you said, so I guess he's not willing to meet me halfway, and I have to figure it out like I have been, but that causes resentment, I'm so tired. Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, like, that's exactly it. If you keep having to deal with not being able to be vulnerable with somebody because they're just name calling and they're making you feel like shit, even though you're the one that's earning everything, it's like, that sucks. That's such a horrible life to have to be in, and then you're always gonna get that resentment, and then when that energy occurs, it's hard to be partners, right? Because then it kind of makes the sex life bad. It makes like having dinners and date nights bad. It just makes a lot of things like not chill. So yeah, I mean, I really think that there needs to be a way that you could open up and be vulnerable and just ask for what it is that you want, but also you need to have a vision that's maybe a little clearer. Be more clear, Sarah, in what your vision is, what you want, and tap into, like, how you could be in that role of that vision practically. And I think things will start to kind of fall into place after that, but the vulnerable, tough conversations are huge, huge. Hector Flores, you said, Jordan, this is Stephanie, Hector's partner. Thank you for your teachings. You're a life changer and fucking hilarious. Thank you. I'm glad you find me funny. I'd rather be funny than wise, because I feel like wisdom is actually the joke. But anyways, all right. You said, how do you feel about Mexican food? We are now living in Mexico. I fucking love Mexican food. There's this one place that I've went to a couple times. My one time going to Mexico, and they made this taco that was a pibil taco pibil. I don't forgot how to pronounce it, but it was made of hibiscus flowers. Holy shit, was that good? I could eat a billion of those. Like, I could literally eat a billion of those tacos. So it was like hibiscus flower was the filling, but it was in this sauce, and it was basic. It was like just piece of avocado, lime juice. Oh, so fucking good. Yeah, I love Mexican food. The hard thing is I am plant-based. I do not consume flesh, so I would love to maybe go some time with somebody who knows more about how to get authentic plant-based foods without too much confusion. And because some people, you tell them like, "Oh, you don't eat this, you don't eat that," and then, like, the rice is made with, like, pig lard, and you're like, "What?" So it's like, yeah, I'm not trying to change anyone's authenticity, but moreover, I'm sure there's so many people in Mexico that there has to be amazing insights into what foods would be best. So, yeah, I'm very limited in my experiences to the foods that I've had, but the some that I've had was amazing, super amazing, and very simple. And I think simplicity that's done right with good ingredients is the key. It's the key to cooking. So, shout out to Mexico. There's actually a lot of wolves out there in Mexico. A lot of people that have been following along this journey here with Waters Above. Shout out to Mexico. Time. I appreciate your super chat. You said, when you say ritualize, I am uncertain what you mean. So, a ritual is not a good thing or a bad thing. A ritual is something that is pre planned, scripted to put into practice at a particular time because of the energies and the intent. Just like a magic, like a ceremonial magic. In ceremonial magic, they might wait till a full moon, they might wait till an eclipse, they might wait until a certain, time of year, the solstice, for instance. This is being done on that time because of the energies that in their awareness and in their awareness field can accomplish whatever their intentional goal is for that particular day, time, alignment, etc. So when I say ritualize, all I'm trying to say is that it's not that it's good or bad with the ritual. It's that it is scripted in advance and it's planned to be executed at a particular time. It is not just like something random. Like 9/11 was not random. It was designed to be at that moment, at that time. Market crashes are not random. Okay. Like everything that's happening in the crashes we have in markets, the all-time highs we have in markets, this is not random. This is all pre-scripted out. This is why it's important to know about the Shemitah year and the 7-year cycle. Okay, I've caught up on everything. I really, really need to end this live stream. We've been on for 2.5 hours. I appreciate every single one of you. This was amazing. Again, I have this new crypto decoding blueprint available now. And also, I have just fully completed it, which means that I have now added 2 new videos on top of the prior 5 videos that I had. I've added in crypto symbolism, which is about 25 minutes going through all of the symbolism of about 16 different cryptocurrencies. And then remember, I've already gone through all the ones before that. I did a full symbolism decode and the blockchain decoded in Satoshi, Bitcoin, XRP, Ripple, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Solana. And then I added an additional 16 altcoins, doing all of the symbology breakdown, giving you tips and tricks of how to decode these cryptos just purely on symbolism. And then it ends with a decoding, excuse me, interactive course lesson of a decoding practice. And I thought that'd be a fun way to kind of wrap up this blueprint. So it's now 100% complete. The price didn't change. The video was automatically added. Um, and yeah, with this promo code Red Pill at checkout, it makes it so that it's under $100. So this is probably like the cheapest and best value thing I've packaged together. I'm really excited to have finished it up. It was a beautiful journey to take pause in my decoding mastermind and wrap up all that content. And now the next thing I'll have coming up is this Trinity masterclass. I'm not sure the timeline on that, but I am working behind the scenes. And then I have this weekend coming up tomorrow. I'm going to be doing the What I'm Investing in special podcast. I was going to save it, but because of this full moon that's coming up next week, I really just think it's important that I prioritize this What I'm Investing in special. So I will, I'll see. Like my heart says that I should do it. Um, I'm not sure yet. I'll be present. And tomorrow morning when I wake up, when it comes time to prepare the podcast and kind of make the tough decision, I'll determine, do I want to do another What I'm Investing in special? And for those of you that don't know what that is, that means it's the Red Pill podcast on patreon.com/waters above for the mastermind community. And this is a 4-part series. This will be part 5, where I go over every single altcoin that I'm invested in. So it's a pretty big podcast. It covers a lot of charts, like probably 20 plus charts. And it's not so much focused on the decoding. That's not as important this week. It'll just be mostly going over the TA, going over all the altcoins in my venture capital portfolio. So if you guys are interested in that, maybe let me know in the comments after I end this live stream, and then I will have that kind of in the back of my mind for tomorrow. If not, it's this week or next week, either or. And I appreciate every single one of you. Hope you're having an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Much love.